staff? Because I mean, obviously, this has been an incredibly steep and very fast thing that's happened to the entire industry.
Yeah, it happened a lot faster than I guess it's all a little bit of a blur now. You know, I mean, we started hearing that there was going to be restrictions on number of people allowed in your space and so on and so forth, and you know, cutting your occupancy in half and so on and so forth. And we all got together for a group meeting, a bunch of us at a restaurant in Logan Square, and you know, a lot of what are we going to do? What should we do? How should we do this? You know, a lot of questions, so on and so forth. And,
I touched my face. Sorry, y'all. Okay.
Restaurants.
So I'm gonna
put food on the table or getting sick. And during the pandemic, no one should have to worry about losing their health care. Our healthcare system is broken.
I'm gonna quiet down this Facebook right here and talk a little bit just to give us a little bit of a context here. And again, I just want to remind you that it's going to be, let's see here, about an hour and 45 program. We've got a few ways you can engage some of this content. We have some slideshows here, and there'll be, you know, those are called two different sets of slideshows based on images, or that are images pulled from the website Quarantine Times. And we got Nick currently scrolling on the Facebook, looking at some things there that you could always follow up. All this stuff is easily follow-upable at thequarantinetimes.org. And you should also, on the info panel on my page, Team Precariat, and the Lumpen Radio page, you should be able to click there to make a donation so we can keep this project going. So in any case, let me read this. I'm going to read that from March 22. That would have been, days today, 18. Yeah, that would have been Earth Day's 22nd. Okay, so a month. A lot of contributors. You know, we're gonna see a lot of the media, and yeah. So without further ado, 7:04. This was the initial blast that was sent out. Dear Chicago, I can see. All right, you want me to mute that? I can mute that. This is funny. So we've got a lot of text streams coming in, so enjoy what it must be like to look on your phone, and then your laptop, and then your iPad, and then the TV, and then your watch, which I don't own, but okay. So one more time. Okay, that's muted. Dear Chicago, in the face of everything that's happening, here we are, together. You are sticking together, working together, caring for each other like never before. Your acts of kindness and ingenuity in this time of shutdowns, sickness, and inequity have inspired us to do the same. How? After a week of reconfiguring all our lives again and again, we launched a new project, the Quarantine Times. It's an expanded conversation and publication project designed by team members and friends of Public Media Institute, PMI, the non-for-profit that runs the Co-Prosperity Sphere, Lumpen Magazine, Lumpen Radio, WLPN 105.5 FM, which we were just listening on the way in, and eventually the new Buddy space at Chicago Cultural Center. Can't wait for that, personally. Quarantine Times will live on the web and the radio in an email newsletter, and once this is all over, in a publication at a party. So excited for that. If you haven't already, a few things you want to do: follow my page. You want to see some fun projects. This was launched. This Team Precariat page was, many months in the making, but the perfect opportunity to launch. And also follow Lumpen Radio new Twitch page, and that'll be so that make sure you follow both of those. The more followers we get, the more things we can offer you. Okay. So also here I have in the browser, definitely check out that for the news and updates if you have not already done that, okay? So back to the Dear Chicago letter. Since Monday, March 23rd, 2020, our team, which includes a board of editors working in different disciplines, has been commissioning and sharing creative responses from Chicago community members, getting through this crisis as best they can. We share their news daily across all our platforms. So here you're seeing some Facebook. We'll look at Insta later, and you can check out all the other socials. We share their news daily across all our platforms. Finally, together with our friends and family, we aim to provide direct financial support to one featured artist per day for the duration of the coronavirus pandemic of 2020. So here we are. We're at the telethon. We'll be going on for another till 9. Then we'll be tossing it over to the info channel. So you should definitely check that out. And they've been going on strong now also since the coronavirus. So project continues until the crisis ends, at which point all artist contributions will be promptly compiled into a publication and released at a celebration. We'll be together again. In solidarity, your buddies at Public Media Institute. So the way it's broken down is there are, for the 7 days, you got 7 editors who produce projects for the first week, and then after that, they then selected individuals, artists, to then produce something on their day. So for Monday, we have Juan Kim. Tuesday was the editor, Stephanie Manriquez. Jeremiah Chu for Wednesday. Mireed Case for Thursday. And then Christy Lemaster, Friday. Moi, Brandon Alvendia on Saturday. And then we have Mark Fisher on Sunday. We also have a few contributors. Definitely there's a wide swath of artists, awesome artists working in all disciplines, artists, thinkers, writers, doers, all over the website. So you should check that out. I will, start moving this browser around a little bit. And yeah. So we'll play a little bit. We have a fun little thing put together here, a little TV commercial. So I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to play that, and then we'll get into the week. So I'll be introducing, the Monday through Sunday editors. We'll have some of their contributions, but we're really excited to do is to get some, testimonials in or other narratives that people could share after the month. So we've been going a month, and definitely will. This is a good chance to check in. So if we have time at the end, maybe we can get a call in from somebody. So anyways, so without further ado, here we go. Let's see here. Sorry, this is just going to take a second. Take that off. So just FYI, I'm using OBS, and I think if there are others who are interested in live streaming, definitely OBS or Streamlabs OBS. I encourage it, and we can build a community off of this. So you can see you're starting to see a lot of people taking advantage of this. So yeah. Okay, so here's our playlist. It's kind of there. It is, and there's just gonna be a little bit of, in our run and gun, we have a little bit of, we're just gonna have to adjust every single thing, all the different file formats. Wonderful plethora of file formats. Love them. So, okay.
So true, funny how it seems. We're all at home, we are quarantined, watching the Tiger King all night. This is the sound of my phone. This is the sound. I'm on it almost every day, talking for 8 hours or more. My colleagues at Mars are working their ass off. We're making some beers and CBDs. I know we are quarantined. I know we're quarantined. With a drift in my hand, I'm making it through each day. I get all jazzed and then I chill down. I'm looking at Marvin all night long. This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound. You've got a ticket to the world. It's on Twitch and Zoom. I don't think you'll find hard to find the right song to put in your personal soundtrack. I know we are all quarantined. I know we're quarantined. Listen, folks, we hope you're doing great out there. It's been a month. We're figuring out this new normal. We hope you are too. Just stay safe, stay sanitary, stay covered up, will ya? Cool. See you again. I bought a ticket to the world, and now I've gone back again. While I find it hard to write the next line, well, I know we're both quarantined.
All right. So if you missed it the first time around, here it is. Well said. We can keep this going. Hit that donate. We got Nick giving you in the chat, giving you a little link, but also in the info panel. Okay. So moving right along. We're going to get into a little bit of audio, and going to introduce Monday editor Juan Kim. So let me pop the picture in there. Boom. Juan Kim is a multidisciplinary artist who's able to combine his longtime passions into a thriving career that spans more than half his life. Graffiti art was his first passion in life, having grown up in Chicago and exposed to the colorful train line walls. This would ignite an excitement and an obsession to paint as much as he could that could hold true to this day. Having honed his skills as a visual artist, he would attend many music events and concerts and immerse himself into the hip-hop culture that dominated the underground in Chicago. This exposure to the culture would dominate much of his style and yearning to create. And socials at Revise CMW. So we got a little audio, and this is going to be a minute and 20 seconds. So let's just make sure we got sound. Everything is good to go.
This is Juan Kim, and I'm the food editor of the Quarantine Times. We need publications like this to be able to thrive so stories can be shared with the rest of the world. This publication covers every walk of the creative life, our struggles, hopes, maintenance, and even sanity during these unsure times. Every single person is affected by this. We finally share a commonality with every single person on this earth who may be struggling to get their voice heard or is looking for a diversion to see how the other side of the world is handling all of this. I've been fortunate enough to have selected 3 contributors so far who are all respected members of the food and beverage world here in Chicago, offering their own unique perspective on how they're dealing with the crisis. Kyle Hodges, Caleb Trahan, and Jeannie Kwan are the first 3 guests, each in a different position in their respective fields. To show the public specific stories will help gain introspect into how to survive this. Everything from offering a pasta recipe to an authentic po' boy to the most comforting chocolate chip cookie, each contributor leaves their mark in trying to make sense of it all. Progression is how we can combat this and not feel stagnant and lose hope. The Quarantine Times is entertainment, information, and in some way a beacon of light in these uncertain times. We hope you consider continuing to support us so we can continue to support our peers.
Okay. So here's some posts. Definitely take a look at that. We'll look at some other, I encourage you all to look at some of those others here. Got some great socials and, but definitely some of this awesome detail, street art stuff, spray, a little bit of marker and such. So these are super awesome to take a look at. So yeah. Okay. So we can get back to some of the other Monday posts in a little bit, a little later, but we'll keep it rolling with some of this content. And I'll introduce. So we have, let me just get Juan's picture on there. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Nick, you want to jump in? You want to say anything? You want to say anything? You're live. No? All right. Just let me know. Okay. Let me just pop up this image of them. Boom. So this is awesome. This is from a Zoom call for a Tuesday editor, Stephanie Manriquez, Tuesday editor. So Stephanie Manriquez is a Chicago-based writer, radio producer, journalist, and teaching artist. Her work sheds a light on social justice issues affecting Latino communities. Her extended collaboration with Contratiempo has allowed her to focus efforts on issues concerning Little Village and Pilsen's immigrant community. She has been part of the Social Justice News Nexus Fellowship at Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism, as a reporter and as a youth mentor. For Lumpen Radio, she produces and creates content for multiple programs such as The Ponderers, Contratiempo Radio. She also leads WLPN's New Communities Amplified Multilingual Initiatives, for which she will train new Spanish-speaking radio hosts this year. At Yoyocali Arts Reach, she leads the audio radio journalism youth program and directs their weekly radio show, What's Up? So here we go. This is about 18 minutes, so tuck in. It's an awesome conversation. Get to know the contributors and Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Manriquez. I am the Quarantine Times Tuesday editor. I have been participating with this project since the beginning. I really believe this initiative of responding to these times is very crucial because it gives a lot of opportunities to people to have a platform to express themselves. I think in these times we have a lot of things to say, and sometimes it's really hard just to keep it to ourselves, and it's important for us to share them with the rest of the world. We are not the only ones feeling this way, and that's why I think the importance of Quarantine Times, having artists to share with us what they're doing, their responses, their feelings, is it can appeal to our audiences, and it can also appeal to other people. So I had the pleasure to work with three awesome, fantastic artists from the Latino community: Betty Heredia, Carolina Sanchez, and Joe Joseph Mora. They are very active in our community in different ways, and I would like to ask them, what do you guys think about quarantine time? What was your experience participating in here, and why do you think quarantine time should continue its mission? Betty.
Well, I'll tell you, when I get the quarantine times in my email box, in my inbox, it's like such a pleasure, because it makes me feel like, just as a reader, that there's this community, and this local community, and it feels less isolating, right? So so it can be very easy to fall. It's especially as we're practicing self-distancing or social distancing, that it can be very easy to feel like you're the only one experiencing this. So as a creative and seeing what other people are doing, it's inspiring to see, oh, it's less lonely. So, and my experience doing this was, I'm really grateful. It was great working with you. I can be somebody that needs, I need an editor. I need to be reined in. So with this extra time on my hands, I can really, I could probably fall into a little bit of madness, which isn't a bad thing in the creative realm, but it was a pleasure and a feeling of okay, I'm on the right path. It's okay to keep doing what I've always done. Like there's no sense of guilt or something. Like, should I be doing something else? Like there was very much more a purpose, or it helped me get back in touch with myself and what my purpose is as an artist.
Your piece was the revolution of the evolution.
An evolution. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your piece.
I wrote about the masks I was making, or how I got into making masks, which was a call from I had lost my job as working at a bar, and one of my bosses was asking if anyone could make masks for the kitchen. They're making they're offering takeout food and delivery, and all those proceeds go to the employees that have been laid off. So I started making masks there, and from there it was kind of, I at that point had felt like everything I had been working towards was now kind of disrupted, and so the piece was really about how going from doing this task, how it kind of, I brought it back to my art, and how I could I'm sorry, I keep getting these messages. You guys can't see that, right? Okay.
No.
Anyways, I'll get back. So it was really just about kind of my how I'm coping, and how I'm trying to it's a very obviously for all of us an emotionally taxing time, and it's just like trying to navigate my way as an artist, and taking what is needed in the world, like as for instance masks, and just kind of exploring what the needs are versus what wants are, and just really kind of going inward to understand, to just evolve, really, to evolve as a human, to go back out into the world, to to question what is my contribution, or what is our contribution as people inhabiting this earth.
Thank you, Betty.
You're welcome.
Caro, tell us.
With the quarantine times, I think when we initially started talking, I didn't have a frame of like what exactly was happening until like I started realizing all the restaurants are closing down, all the venues are closing down, and working in the live entertainment industry, it's you can't really just think for yourself. You think for the musicians, the artists, and everyone, security, all the employees, everything like that. But with the quarantine times, I was able to go back into highlighting these people and thinking it's basically a community diary in some sorts. We all know each other through the arts. I've known Stephanie for more than like 9 years. But I think it's very important, and I think it's also keeping me sane, as Betty said as well, because you're seeing what other people are thinking, and you think you're the only one thinking the same things, but no, it's kind of like mental check. We're all going through this, and yeah, no, it's tough, but we're here. We're doing it.
And your piece was called Chicago.
Chicago. You have to do the finger. But yeah, no, I was thinking about myself, but then also I was concerned about others as well. Like, I should probably be more selfish, but it's just working in this industry. You can't just think of one person. Like, you think of like musicians that you worked with, the security guards. I know all the security guards here at the bars in like Pilsen. So I wanted to highlight all these different people and also like connect them in some way in the article. That's why I added the links on the bottom for all the bars that do have GoFundMes and like do need help or have takeout still. So it's just keeping each other informed as well.
Yeah. Joseph.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So yeah, so I guess my experience with the quarantine times was I think it's hard for me to sometimes write or even just think about writing because I'm a very visual person as a visual artist. So kind of taking that time to really calm down. I think this was also the time where everything started to kind of really slow down, and my brain was still going at like 100 and then slowing down to 75 and then 50 and then right now I'm like at a 0 even. So I'm kind of like, I was in the process of really slowing down, and so I think writing this was a way for me to reflect on, I guess, what my future and what our future is going to be like. Because yeah, I wrote about like how I couldn't go into the studio anymore because the parks are closed, and because my studio is in a park house. I just don't have access to that anymore. How was I gonna make work? And just like really being in a home full of of a family of 4 or 5 plus so many other animals was going to be stressful to like online teach and to have my own space. So I think that's what I think I wrote more about like my process of the start of my quarantine, but also highlighting issues that regard to undocumented people. As an undocumented person or a DACA recipient, there is a lot of support going around, right? Like the federal support of these stimulus checks and other benefits that U.S. citizens can receive. And so thinking about how even during a time of crisis where everyone's saying like we're all in this together, the undocumented community and other communities as well still feel like they're left in the shadows, and how and so like thinking about that, but also seeing that our own community, right, like our artist community, our neighborhood communities, our activists have come together and created support for undocumented people. So like like GoFundMe's or like yeah. So I guess I wanted to highlight that these issues that we experience as undocumented people of feeling uncertain, FaceTiming over FaceTiming family members is a regular thing for us because we can't visit our family members. So like all these things is it's kind of like, in a way, we're kind of prepared, but now we're added this extra pressure of uncertainty now with our lives, and not just our lives of, livelihood, I guess. So now it's our lives too. And so yeah, so I guess that's what I really mainly wrote about. I also talked about, as a co-organizer for undocumented projects, how the elections were going to be affected as well, and how maybe this might impact a lot of decisions that, how we end up voting, right? Not a lot of people can vote, electronically. I don't know how it's going to happen, or mailing, right? So all these decisions really affect everyone, but I think, the people who have always been out of the conversation during elections are undocumented people, and that's how I think, I think during this time it's a lot more crucial for people to go out and vote. Yeah.
Your piece was called Reassuring Disposition, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I guess I was thinking about, again, like I said, I was in the process of trying to figure out how my life was going to be and how our lives were going to be. So I was trying to find, in a way, an answer, which I'm still kind of looking for. I'm still trying to reassure myself, honestly. I think I've been stuck in this emotional rut where it's like, how can I create? I don't know. I'm just not feeling so creative, honestly. And so I'm still trying to find these reassuring, pieces that I can put together, to move on, to create conversations. It's not the same, being, not being with people in galleries, or, being in contact, basically. It's really different. So yeah.
And I think hearing stuff like that, like hearing things like that, is like reassuring for other artists as well, because we are going through the same thing. Like right now, I don't have anything going on. I'm gonna make a robot.
And I think another thing I mentioned towards the end was that, I have this like huge guilt of not doing anything, because I'm so used to being like teaching at the high school, and then going to the studio and teaching, and like making, or always being on the go. And so this guilt of like, man, I'm not doing anything. What should I be doing? So I'm trying to also teach myself that it's okay, that I can lounge for the next months. But I think at some point my brain is going to be like, you need to really start getting things together.
Just like for our last thought, for this conversation, it's about, what do you guys think about the importance, or what role has quarantine times played in the artist's life, in your lives, as a platform?
Oh.
As a platform.
Like, what do you guys I don't know, like people who has not read Quarantine Times, what do you, what's the
like, what's the takeaway
for yes, from Quarantine Times? I know you guys haven't followed the platform, so I don't know, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, I think it's like Joe said too, or Caro, it's information, and and you just see a community out there, and it's just see what other people are doing, and links to resources that maybe you wouldn't see anywhere else, and that's important. So yes, I think it's a provides access to information, and to other artists. And even as somebody, if I was to ask somebody who is not a creative person, but just to invite them to read Quarantine Times, I think I just think it's a good point of interest. It's another viewpoint of how people are responding during this time that you don't see in the mainstream. You're not going to read about it in the New York Times. So yeah,
I think it's I think what I got was it's like firsthand experience of like the community here in Chicago and like the community in our neighborhoods that we're in. And just reading, I think I read one about what the father got COVID and then his wife is pregnant and then he doesn't know what this child is as well. So seeing that struggle and seeing like you hear all these stories in like main media about, oh, this person has COVID, oh, and this and that, but this is actually someone
that we might know, right?
Yeah, someone that we might know. I just got a notification. Sorry. This is for unlimited minutes or something. I don't know if this is timed or anything, but but I think it's a way that the community wants to get together and like hear from each other without being physically there.
I'm also thinking about like, I don't know, this is something, obviously I haven't experienced this in my lifetime, but I mean, I don't think we've really experienced this type of in a very long time, right? So I think this is a kind of recording, a documentation of what like you said, Caro, I think it's a really good observation, is that we get all these like crazy statistics and numbers thrown at us on the news and crazy, really emotional stories, and in a way it sometimes scares us even more. So it's good to even have quarantine times to show that artists are trying to continue, and the people are getting together. Like, I don't know, I think it's just a good documentation and proof of like this life that is still happening, even without physical contact.
Wow. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your kind words and your awesome art.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Being part of Quarantine Times. And I think, we continue when more stories like yours.
Yay.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, stop this?
Yo, how's everyone doing? Let's get some emotes in the chat for that video. It might be spam. It's okay. Bots. It's not my first bot. That was great. I think it connect to like a lot of things said there. So especially like, am I doing enough? Blah blah blah. Da da da. This, and also worrying about what's going on with voting. There's just so many points there. So that 18 minutes super packed, and what a great thing. Just convening everyone together to talk. So, cool. So, we still have Juan's picture. Okay. Cool. So let's see if somebody, we got a little punch in here. And yeah. Just want to say hi. And I'll boot up the next thing. No? Okay. We'll see.
I've got pizza in my mouth.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is how we do. Make sure you're all fed. It is dinner time. So anyways, okay. So let me set this next clip up. Hope you're all enjoying. And let's see. So we got 3 videos here, and they're short videos. Let's see, Tuesday contribution. So let's see if we can find those on the side. But I'm just gonna play them through, and then we'll have a special little intermission with one video, and then getting into Wednesdays. So okay, so we'll play these. Don't forget, smash follows both. Lumpin' Radio. Hit the donate, PayPal. There's links in chat. There's links on the site. You should definitely check that site out. Follow up on some of these projects. Read, in detail, and some of the things us artists and creatives are going through right now. So. Okay, so we got a quick little short video here. Bobby and Monica at home. So just so you know, it's a little like 1 minute little segment from Bobby and Monica. So I'll just let her rip here, and then we'll go on to our Wednesday editor and contributors.
What's new?
New record came out on Friday.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Sounds great.
Okay, wow, that was awesome. Take you by surprise a little bit on that loud, awesome little noise piece. So we'll get back to some of those in a little bit. We got a couple more to pump out. So, oops, my fault. I gotta get rid of that. Okay, so next up we have Wednesday editor Jeremiah Chu, and he's got a nice testimonial on his editing and narrative over the course of the month. We've got a few submissions that he has, and you know, we'll watch. You know, we could watch a couple of them. I think, yeah. I'll introduce Jeremiah. So Wednesday editor Jeremiah Chu is a Los Angeles-based creative director, conceptual artist, synthesist, and educator. From 2008 to 2016, he served as a co-founder and principal of Plural, an award-winning and internationally recognized design studio. His current practice, Some All None, is an extension of Plural, focused on merging art, music, and technology into new hybrid forms. He is a resident DJ at Dub Lab, a lecturer at Otis College of Art and Design and Art Center College of Design, and has performed at the Getty Center, LACMA, and the MCA Chicago, amongst others. His music emphasizes his hybrid interests in intersecting ambient, electronic, classical, pop, and experimental music into polyrhythmic melody, voice, texture, and Jeremiah's current website, someallnone.com. So check that out, and we'll hear from Jeremiah himself. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself here.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Chu. I am the Wednesday editor for Quarantine Times, talking to you today from the Twitch stream studios here in my home. So over the past month, my work with Quarantine Times has given me the opportunity to work with artists to commission new works that respond to the crisis in truly inspiring and unique ways. With the initial onset of the Safer at Home advisory, which is now the Shelter-in-Place advisory, my immediate approach was to find a way to continue to promote and put forth positive energy towards maintaining a sense of support and community within the arts and music communities that I have connections to in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and worldwide. So in the first week of March, I essentially had a residency, a workshop, a lecture, and several other concerts that were immediately canceled or postponed. And in an effort to address or create an alternative to that postponement, several collaborators of mine, Celia Hollander, Ben Babbitt, Booker Stardrum, and Marta Honer, were able to quickly create an alternative, which was hosting an event based on one of Celia's projects, which was a drive-in concert. On Monday, March 16th, we posted an address to a grocery store parking lot where we would each take turns performing music in my van and transmitting the concert to people via their cars using short-range FM transmission. So essentially, we hosted a concert that was in a parking lot safely within our own cars, and so that people could come together, be in the present energy of each other, but be able to exist in the same space safely without risk of any potential harm. So what we initially assumed would be a small gesture towards maintaining our personal collaboration and the momentum that we had been working towards ended up being and making a really meaningful impact on a lot of other people. Over 100 people showed up in that parking lot that evening, and hundreds more tuned in from all over the world via Instagram, applauding us from their horns, flashing lights, sending donations directly to our PayPals and Venmos. And this intimate event really allowed me to see how important it was to continue to forge community and to find ways to connect to each other in meaningful ways. That concert was written about in Billboard, ID, Vice, and was the subject of 2 different podcasts, and it was really just truly unique and special. So when the Quarantine Times asked me to come on as an editor, my approach was really to consider what ways that I could continue to support artists, support the community in this same way. So as the timeline for all that's happening to us right now is so uncertain, my weekly contribution or column, the approach was to call it Life Before, which was this idea or this concept that I've been working towards, and it really prompts artists, musicians, and designers to create something new instead of just a response to the pandemic, which I think is necessary and helpful, but it can be also something that can exist on its own beyond the trauma. So beyond an archival series, Life Before exists as this space for reflection, experimentation, and exploration equally in audio, in visual, in art, in language, in really any form that the contributors want to take. So it's an invitation. It's an invitation to guest contributors, hosts, and collaborators to really continue to explore, to continue to pursue projects, ideas, etc. I really think that this, the volatile and asynchronous nature of our time warrants this equal response. So I'm really thinking about Life Before as a column within Quarantine Times that is a series of hybrid works created by artists and designers, writers, musicians, and everyone that sort of straddles those lines and classifications. And it's something that's less tethered as a specific response to the current global crisis, but it's something that is catalyzed within the cloud of this pandemic. So the work so far has come together, and it's been just totally amazing. The contributions from Sonnenzimmer, the duo of Nick Butcher and Nadine Nakanishi, a really wonderful experimental animation and written piece that explores their sort of like a walk that they took. Will Miller and Crystal Zapata, a song and a short film. Selena Tripp, an experimental animation with her partner Dan Bitney. They envelop such a wide range of expression, from animation to poetry to song to film, and they really speak to this human condition in a way that transcends this moment. So Life before really is framed as both this reflection in the present tense, but it's also this anticipation. I'm sorry, anticipation. Life before what? What's to happen? So we're really thinking about what can artists do to create new modes, to create new approaches, and to create new opportunities for us to continue to work forward. Additionally, my involvement with Quarantine Times has expanded beyond a weekly column towards the development of a streaming Twitch channel that facilitates more regular programming and works with artists to set up a new infrastructure, a new venue, and additional creative space for new expressions. So I'm really hoping that we can continue to push this forward to create, set up, make new communities, build relationships that are really meaningful and lasting, despite sort of all of this isolation, etc. We're continuing to move forward optimistically and strongly. I've been working with Public Media Institute, Lumpen, and all of its affiliates for over 12 years. I continue to support and energize and collaborate in this community because all of the people that are involved reciprocate that, all of those qualities immediately back in ways that have positively impacted my life, my work, and my relationship to culture, consistently working really hard to create the kind of society that we all want to participate in, that we're all excited to be a part of, and that can be really inspiring and supportive. So I want to keep continuing to work in that way to encourage that participation, encourage this spirit, and put forth this optimism and energy towards these communities, and really encourage everyone to get involved in any way, to know that it's okay to feel unmotivated at this time. I think that's totally natural, but also find that ebb and flow. We're all vibrating together. We're oscillating. It's something that continues to move, and so that balance is necessary. So that's sort of all I have to share at the moment, but really want to encourage everyone to find ways to participate, but also find ways to go deeply inside and take care of oneself. Thank you.
All right, let's give a hand. That was super, super sweet. I like it. I love the car drive-in show. We should put some of that together here. Oh, my focus, it don't matter. Okay, cool. So we'll watch a couple of the contributions that Jeremiah mentioned. Let's see here. We'll go with this one. Yeah, we could watch them. I guess it's total runtime of the three is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. So yeah, we can just watch them.
Last week, I went on a walk and I saw this dog. It was smaller than any dog I'd ever seen. And it was raining. I didn't bring an umbrella. I could hardly see the dog through the rain. Why was the dog alone? Just then, it turned a corner. I followed the dog around the corner. I didn't see it anywhere. I said to the dog, it looked even smaller up close. We're not so different, I thought. I closed my eyes and pictured a mirror. You try it. Close your eyes and picture a mirror. Do you see your own reflection in it?
What do I do? I don't know anymore. I don't know.
All right, let's give it up. Let's give it up for Wednesday. Super tight. And yeah, let's see here. So we'll go into Thursday. But don't forget, before you do that, don't forget to follow Lumpen Radio channel. Hit that donation button. There's multiple buttons on Team Precarity if you're on there, or Lumpen Radio, you'll see a button there. Or you head over to the donation on the menu here, hamburger. This one, be right there. So check that out. I'm trying to keep this going. You see a lot of great content. Obviously, you know, there's a huge amount. I mean, look, Cody Hudson poster. There's all kinds of awesome imagery you can look at. And yeah, so let me just boot up another one. You all chat amongst yourselves for a second. So we got another little bit of an intermission here, minute 23. And yeah, so you'll see this. It's another Bobby Con. Okay, let's just, here we go, nice and big. we'll pull up some of those images a little later. We'll go back through them. Awesome image series. There we go. Ghost Touch. So that is some tight stuff. Nick has got it on the phone there. If you want to see it on there, let me see if I can find it here. Just a really breathtaking. Look at this picture. I love that picture. Is that oh, that's like a zoom background. Okay. Let's see. Let's get to the. Okay, so we're at Friday already. It's 8:14. Actually, we keep motoring, huh? We got a little bit. We're on track. Okay, so we got Friday editor, Christy Lemaster, and let's see. I got audio, so I'll pop up image. So you can get that image Friday. I love this image. It's gonna fit into this. Look at this. Look at how this is already ready-made for me. And this setup. Look at that. It's beautiful. So I'll pop the audio on, but let me introduce Christy before I do that. Friday editor. Christy Lemaster is a Chicago-based moving image programmer, educator, and producer interested in collectivity and collaborative processes. She founded Chicago Microcinema The Nightingale and co-programmed an itinerant experimental doc series, Run of Life. She worked as assistant curator at the Museum of Contemporary Art Chicago, organizing exhibitions and programs for the Commons, the museum's site for art and civic engagement. She has been a movie critic on WBZ, an editor for cinephile.info, and her writing has been published by Insight, Brooklyn Rail, and Green Lantern Press. She currently teaches media theory at Columbia College Chicago. So here is Christy's audio, which is about 7 minutes. So tuck in. It's an awesome narrative to follow.
Hi, everybody. This is Christy Lemaster, Friday editor for the Quarantine Times. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my experience in working on this project. And first, thanks where thanks is due. Thanks to Ed and Nick and Stella and Marion and Marina and Mairead and everybody else who's working around the clock to keep the Quarantine Time going out across all the wires. It's a completely amazing idea, and this impulse of direct support moving fast to artists is amazing, and I have felt very inspired by being a part of it. So Nick called me crazy fast and was like, hey, in 2 days we're gonna start this thing, can you do it? And I was like, yes, I totally want to do it. And the reason I could say yes is because this city is just lousy with amazing artists, front to back, top to bottom. We have an embarrassment of talent in this city, and I knew that it wasn't going to be any problem to find folks to create amazing stuff. It's overwhelming this time, and I think one of the things that I've been holding on to, and one of the things that's been helping me kind of create conversations with artists in this time, is that we're experiencing this like massive disruption, and it's hard on everybody, and most people are still showing by staying home and by social distancing and by creating mutual aid funds that we've all decided that people's well-being is more important than the economic fallout. And that, to me, in the midst of all of the tragedy and loss and grief, is the thing that just like keeps me going, is that like we have this one moment to kind of shove through the terrible, harmful systems that we have been living in and make some models for how it could be. And one of those models could be, say, direct funding to artists. So the three people that I have been so fortunate to work with, the first is Diddle Nab, who's writing and humor and parenting style I have been admiring for years. Diddle wrote an amazing piece about what it is to co-parent in the middle of the quarantine, and she has this completely singular experience right now of living with her partner and just having had a baby, and then from her previous marriage has another child, and so her ex and her partner and the 2 kids and her and some dogs are all living in a house right now and trying to manage the intense stress of parenting, schooling, working, and they're really being this like hilarious and engaging model of like how to really be there for one another when the chips are down. And her piece is so funny, and the thing about Diddle is she is really frank with how hard parenting is and how kids can be just really difficult. That having kids is this intense amount of work and it's this intense amount of love. But I love her perspective on things. And if you haven't read her yet, Unschooling the Heart, please do take a look. And then the second week, I was lucky enough to work with Darling Shear. Darling Shear is truly one of those people that glues this city together with their love and generosity and practice. And Darling has been taking this moment where public spaces are empty and desolate, and has been moving into those public spaces and creating these beautiful, brief, improvisatory performances that just have a huge amount of connectivity for you. As someone who can get really cynical about what it is to always be watching a screen, the thing in Darling's videos, in her posts in the open, is how amazingly connected and intimate those feel, which, if you know Darling's practice, is all about the relationship between her as a performer and her audience, and this kind of sense of connectedness that we all have in our interpersonal relationships every day. So don't miss those. They're stunning. And then the third artist I was lucky enough to work with is Raul Benitez, who is an independent film programmer in this city who seems like he can maybe be 4 places at once. He has been working with Comfort Film, really much at Comfort Station in Logan Square, pretty much managing their entire film programming with some other people, but really grew that program into like something that happens regularly and is a real part of the neighborhood. He's also a programmer at the Nightingale, which is the cinema that I helped found, and he works for Full Spectrum Features, and he is just constantly making things happen and constantly bringing movies to the city that no one else would ever have the like reach and the wherewithal to do. And in his piece, Film Programming in the Pandemic, you can hear about some of the programs that we like were just about to have and had to miss because of how the virus is closing down venues everywhere. But you can also hear about how Raul has been working with several other concerned people in Chicago's cinema scenes to create the Chicago Cinema Workers Fund, which is a mutual aid fund that is helping to put dollars into the hands of cinema workers in Chicago who were laid off or put on furlough without pay, which has been the case for almost like 70 to 80% of the film workers in Chicago. So all 3 of these artists and programmers seem to me to be like completely amazing people who have taken this moment and found a way to like build something, write something, make something that utterly surprised me or delighted me. And I hope that you really thought so too. And if you have any dollars to spare, please throw them at this telethon, because the Quarantine Times is putting money in the pockets of artists every day. And I think that right about now, this is the model we need. So thanks everybody for listening. And I hope that everybody's having a good Saturday night. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. What a nice rundown. Cool. So I'm going to play the Domestic Winter Portrait #1. And we'll play that. It's pretty sweet. I watched it like on loop a couple times. So we'll play it right now. That's 1 minute and 33 seconds. So let me just get it. Oh, that was so good. Okay. So we are at 8:26. I want to make sure we get through all the days. We still have a lot of material to go through. So, what is that? And so let me just boot up here. Let's see. We got some dance, 3 dances. We'll show one of these. This first one's really my favorite, and we can go back if you all are funny in chat. Okay. 30 minutes. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We'll go back to those dances after. Okay. So we'll watch another quick, here we go. I'll just mute myself. We're going to just start burning through this awesomeness.
behind the barriers.
Cool. Oh, I love that. The music is great on that, the dancing, and that is a great choice of venue to do that performance. So we got 30 minutes left. So we got a little bit still to go through. The sites there, all of this is pulled from there, except the testimonials. Maybe we should place those somewhere. I don't know. I guess you can go back to the Lumpen Radio, visit the Lumpen Radio, follow, hit those donation buttons. They're all over the place. Nick or somebody can throw one on chat. At 9, we got to stop real, like, hard stop. And we're going to toss it to Info Channel. And they're going to have programming from there. And that's going to be a live show also. So you can participate. Chat's smoking on there. I love it. I love being on there, just hanging. Tons of people chatting, enjoying the content there. So, okay. So, for in interest of time, I am not, we can follow up on some of those other ones later, the other dances. And we'll move on. It is Saturday. Oh, very meta. Okay. So I'll show some stuff. Let me just get back to the window here. Nick was showing a little bit of one of the contributors, Alejandro Jimenez Flores, epic poem, and that was a great piece. We're going backwards a little bit. That was last week, and it was a piece that was about the last time they had gone out to dance, and it was a Hungry Brain, and Alejandro and I had been going back and forth, and over maybe couple of years thinking about this epic poem that they had been writing. And the past 2 Saturdays, I had used this stream to create kind of social events. So, I felt like they were really great. It takes a lot out of you to stream, as addictive as it is. But I also thought, this is kind of a shabby to going to Hungry Brain, right? So Nick's coming in, he's going to talk. Go ahead. Right. So Nick's coming in, he's going to talk. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Raul, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Brandon, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Great. Oh, we can see you. Great. Hi.
Hey.
Great. Hi, you're our first live guest on Twitch ever.
Awesome.
I'm going to try to not make it echo. Okay, me too. But so, can everybody hear Raul? Testing?
I can hear myself.
Ed, can you hear us? Great. Okay. So thanks for joining. You were the last contributor on a Friday. Was that last Friday? Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago, or
wow,
yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Saturday, right?
What day is it, anyways?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Hard to remember. And so you talked about the Cinema Workers Fund that launched in Chicago recently. Do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about that?
Sure. The Cinema Workers Fund was put together by a group of us that are in the film community, including Chrissy Lemaster, who's Friday's editor for the Quarantine Times, who asked me to go ahead and talk about, my experience plus, the cinema fund we started. And the Chicago Cinema Workers Fund is for workers who got furloughed or laid off from theater. So like AMC or like the Music Box or stuff like that. And we're putting a fund together so we could give them some money to help them out during this crisis. Actually, just checking now, we're at 81% funded for our initial goal, which is $15,000. So that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
So,
I'm linking to it here, everybody.
Yeah, so we're pretty close to, within less than a week, we're almost close to our first goal. So that's pretty great. But yeah, still help, workers that formerly worked at theaters that got laid off or furloughed, just like people that serve popcorn, took tickets, ushers, people who clean the theater, the people that were the backbones of movie theaters and made them run. So hopefully we reach our goal, and then we'll be able to help give a little bit to people who applied. You could actually apply on the website as well as donate. The Quarantine Times, Christy approached me, like about a week or so ago about, writing something about it and putting in a little personal story about my issues with what happened and how it affected my film programming, how it affected film programming throughout the city and eventually throughout the world. And kind of like all that film programming that we do here in the city is kind of linked to what else was going outside of the city. So my story in the Quarantine Times tells you a little bit about what happened.
Mm-hmm. And part of that was that you were going to do an exchange program with Mexico City that now is on hold, or what's happening?
Yeah, so through Full Spectrum Features, which I work for, we got a connections grant with MacArthur, and my program was going to be filmmaker and film exchange between filmmakers in Mexico City and Chicago. And we were going to take 3 filmmakers and their films from Chicago to Mexico City and show them there, and then bring the 3 filmmakers from Mexico City up here to Chicago and show their films here. And we already had everything all set to go. We had like venues picked out. We had our films program and our filmmakers chosen. We are already kind of like worked out the details with our filmmakers that the Chicago filmmakers that we were supposed to go there the first week of June.
Wow.
We had our venues picked out, and once we started closing down in venues on our end here in Chicago started closing down, stuff was still kind of open in Chicago, so we were still kind of hopeful that it would happen in June. But then the mayor of Mexico City started shutting everything down, and that was pretty much what decided us to cancel it or postpone it. And so right now we're thinking about doing part of it virtual, but we're still talking about that. And we're just waiting a little bit of guidance from the MacArthur Foundation on that. But it's going to eventually happen in one form or another, just not the form that we wanted it to happen.
Yeah. So you don't think that people are going to be traveling the way that you'd hoped?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem likely on both ways. We might have a physical in-person screening later this year about it. So we're hopeful that we might be able to pull that off. But as far as like filmmakers traveling, and meeting each other, that was a big one that we won't be able to do, unfortunately.
Bummer. Yeah. Well, thank you for being experimental video person on multiple fronts right now, and joining the stream and trying to make it work.
Everybody out there should donate to the Quarantine Times so we can keep this going. You guys might be 2-month operation now, right?
That's what we're trying to go for. We're gonna go for at least another week, but it looks like it's gonna be another month. Hopefully, only that. So we're trying to raise funds for one more month of programming, so we can have another 35 creatives like yourself share stories like you have.
You know, it's thanks to you guys and Lumpen Radio and PMI and everybody else that's part of this. It's great, and hopefully we get some money.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Raul. That was huge.
Thanks, Raul. It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
All right,
Bye.
Take care. We'll see you. We'll see you outside.
Yeah, see you in real life one day. Bye-bye.
Cool. Bye. Wow, our first guest. Let's get some emails in the chat for our first guest. It actually went pretty well. You all hear it okay? I did. Super tight. I like it. Oh, this poster's tight too. Chema Scandal does this I don't know, Anthony Romero comes post graffiti, and it's like got this little texturized thing. So okay, cool. We got about 19 minutes. Let's see. I gotta make some choices here. We got Okay. I'll show this, and then I'll show this. Nick, you still there? Okay.
Kinda, but I'm gonna start sharing my screen.
Okay.
You go. Good go.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
All right, I'm just gonna start playing some stuff. Y'all, don't forget later 9 o'clock. We're gonna go to Info Channel. People that donated. Just want to thank y'all keeping this alive. We're gonna keep the project going as much as we can with your support. And again, if you're still looking for a place to put some of your generous donations, PayPal link is on the chat and on my page button and also Lumpen Radio button. So cool. So we'll let's see here. Sorry, I just gotta get the last things in. Before I roll called in, so I'm talking about Alejandro Jimenez Flores and the video. Oh no, Nick. Oh God. Jeez. Sorry, I got distracted there by a notification, just like everybody.
We okay?
Yeah, you had a weird notification that came in. But don't